Mark, thanks for taking the time to jump on a call and give us a bit of insight into your experience. But feel free to just introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what it is that you do.
Sure. Um, my background is in UX design, really. That's where I spent most of my career, and worked in a consultancy for the previous kind of 8 years, building design teams up and working in software development, basically with big clients, enterprise clients. Um, I kind of got the inspiration to go out on my own. I'd had the idea to do that for a long time, and then before doing that, kind of joined your community and your program, and that gave me a lot of the tools I think to make the jump. So yeah, start of this year, I launched my own business, which in some ways wasn't what I originally imagined it would be. I've kind of built an agency that really works at the intersection of AI and service and software design. So we build software, and I have developers now on my team, but yeah, we kind of take a different approach to that, which we've designed into it. So that's been really interesting, and yeah, now the business is starting to grow, so it's taken off rather quickly, which is a really good thing.
Amazing. So take us through, you were just obviously getting started from scratch when you entered the training program. But take us through what you were looking for, what building blocks did you want to kind of start from scratch and kind of put together when you first started?
Yeah, a lot of what originally appealed to me was I had this idea that I would go out as a freelancer, and I'd never done the solo thing before. So there was a lot I just didn't know about kind of running that kind of, um, yeah, I guess I wouldn't have even called it a business back then, but approaching the world in that way. I'd been an employee my entire life. So what originally appealed was, I guess, the community, and I'd seen some of your videos and ways that you could kind of really effectively make money while doing this work without without killing yourself in the process. The idea of building systems out to do it as well. So that's where I started. But I think a lot of the early mindset material I really connected with. And at some point, I realized I didn't want to just be a freelancer. I kind of wanted to build a business and do something a bit more ambitious. So yeah, I think what my motivations definitely changed over the first couple of months just being in the program.
Got it. So take us through what would you feel has been the biggest aha moment that you've had since you've been in the program?
I think it would be a lot around the relationship with money and how I show up to sales conversations. I'd done quite a bit in sales, in my role in consulting. I was fairly good at it, but I'd never really. I'd always had this kind of idea that I'm doing. Um, I'm, I guess people are doing me a favor by giving me their attention and their work and so on. And I felt like I was asking for something. When I flipped that around and realized that, if you find the right people and you show up in the right way, that people want to actually pay for things. They want to do business with people. There's a lot of people who just really have the mindset of working with someone if they think it's going to bring value. And yeah, I mean, I've had an outstanding kind of sales conversion record since then. And it's really what's built the business. It's really what turned me from a freelancer into someone who could build a business. I realized I should probably be doing sales full time, because that mindset has just unlocked a lot for me. So I've had to build the team around me rather than do a lot of the work myself. Um, yeah, I don't know if that answers the question directly, but yeah, there's a lot of unlocks there, but certainly the mindset around kind of building something that attracts people to the value that you can offer. And there was a lot of little lessons, I think, early on in the program that that I internalized really quickly, and it really gave me a huge head start.
Nice. So take us through like what does the transformation like look like since like you started from day one? Like what kind of results have you seen? And take us through like your sales conversion rate and just take us through some of the tangible kind of transformations you've been able to make.
Yeah. So um, my early it took a while to get the first client project. I think that was the hardest part. Um, and that's the part where I was battling with a lot of self-doubt and so on. Once I got one client project, I just started doubling the price of the service offering, which was basically um, a service design project with an AI pilot that was an output of it. So actually launching an AI tool inside a company. And I just started doubling the price. And I was having 100% sales record for the first 3 months until the price got up to somewhere around 25 to 40K for a job. And at that point, people started saying, oh, and they'd come back to me in a couple of months. And I realized, okay, well, for that size business, that's what, uh, that's the price I should be going out with. But it also helped me develop a bit of a funnel for how I sell projects too. So the pilot was just the first step um, for a lot of these clients. So my funnel was really start with an AI/service design pilot. Um, Usually that would uncover the systems that these companies use. And then we could talk a bit about transformation. So transformation of their systems and their data in particular, because getting good outcomes with AI is all about structuring data in a specific way. So I sold probably um, about a third of the clients I work with into a retainer after that, a month-on-month retainer. The third step to the funnel is to sell a software project, which is basically helping these companies build a SaaS platform or a software as a service platform. And in the process of talking to one client and hopefully signing a deal this month has a value of somewhere between 500 and 750K. So that's the kind of progression I'm hoping to make with a lot of these clients. Not all of them are going to have a budget for that. Another client I'm talking to has a budget for about 100K, but yeah, so the sales record is back down to between like 60 and 70%, which is still way higher than when I was a consultant. But I'm also like dramatically increasing the value of the thing I'm trying to sell to people at the same time.
Yeah,
But
amazing.
yeah, I think like I've got close to I think 900K in the pipeline now, and I've done about 220K in sales and delivered on about 170K of that. So still working on some projects at the moment.
And in how many months?
I started the business start of April, really was the first like paid client.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? Take us through the difference in like mindset just before the first client closed and like now, because obviously it can look pretty dire until the work compounds and then you get your first taste versus now potentially how you think about things. Like what has been like the big shift mentally, maybe from a marketing standpoint that you've learned throughout the process?
Yeah, it's completely different. I mean, it was very stressful getting that first client. I think they had the kind of proposal or statement of work. They were holding on to it for a week before they made a decision. In that week, I'm like, well, can I actually do this thing at that time? Um, Now, like, marketing's the right word. So if you have like enough conversations and enough activity going on, then you kind of just like, is this something that do you want to work together on something? And if someone takes their time, then it's kind of okay. There's plenty of other people who are talking to me at the same time.
Mm.
So I've learned to definitely have a lot of um, a lot of conversations and a lot of different things going on at the top of the pipeline. And inevitably, like some people want to move really quickly through that, and that's great. And they progress hopefully through those stages that I talked about pretty quickly. But yeah, I think there's a volume thing to it. But also with that mindset that, it's okay if you don't want to work together now, it might not be the right time. And I kind of make sure that no one client is really that important to my business. But even the 500K one is like, if that doesn't happen, we'll still be good, right? We'll still have other things that we can convert in the meantime.
Yeah, totally. There's like another 200 of those out there if you just remain active, I suppose. Um,
Mhm.
so take us through like it sounds like you've built a team, so you're not necessarily the one doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So take us through like maybe what you thought your responsibility was as a business owner maybe 12 months ago versus now, how you think about what your responsibility is.
Yeah. So I was doing a lot of the work for most of the time. Up until very recently, it's just been me and one developer contractor. So I'm bringing a partner, like an equity partner, on in the business, um, probably this month. We'll sort it out. And we're hiring two full-time developers in addition to the contractor, and also another designer. Um, but for a long time, it was kind of me and a contractor part-time doing most of it, which was a lot of work. Um, I I've actually been inspired by the traction model quite a lot. So the visionary and integrator roles in a business, which is why I'm bringing on a partner.
Mhm.
I've probably always been the integrator type in previous roles, just making something happen for someone else's business. And when I allowed myself to give away some of the doing and organizing of the work and to focus on marketing and sales and setting goals and the vision for the business, then things just like moved super quickly. So I'd kind of neglected that side of myself, like setting real targets and actually setting the vision for a group of people, and also doing a lot of the innovation work too. So just, trying out new tools and kind of yeah, and kind of being out there in front of people a lot more, having a lot of top of the funnel conversations and really just kind of pulling the business in a specific direction. And I thought I'd have a control problem, kind of giving over a lot of that integrator work or a lot of that doing work to other people. But I realized that's the thing that has just allowed this to really take off in the last month or so. Yeah, is giving a lot of that away and focusing really on, in particular, sales and marketing, and to a lesser extent, kind of technology and innovation.
Amazing, mate. Yeah, I think that's enough questions to kind of get a nice little cross section into like how you know, how the journey's kind of come along. But again, like congrats. It's pretty crazy. It's a pretty crazy transformation in the amount of time, and congrats on like sticking through the kind of the rut that everybody has to go through before it all kind of clicks. So yeah, thanks for taking the time to give us a bit of insight.
Yeah, no problem. I'm probably coming to an end of the 12 months in the program, so it's good to wrap it up. And it's good to reflect too, because I can almost not really remember what I was like when I started about 12 months ago. It's a completely different mindset. And I am like super lucky at the same time, it has taken off so quickly. But um, a lot of that I'd like done the work through some of the content and things that you'd shared to take advantage of that luck when it did come along to really ride it. So yeah, it's been pretty useful to be part of the community.
It Yeah, no, I think like I'll probably cut it there, but like I can just tell by like the way that you're answering the questions that you fully get, you just get it. Like you understand where you should be focusing time and what matters. And I think you kind of said it just before, but it's how to take advantage of luck. Like most people don't know how to take advantage of luck. You now know because you know how to frame an argument that makes sense to somebody because you understand their situation. But then you're also creating you by doing stuff at the front, you're creating luck so that you can, oh, these guys are ready. I can take advantage of that and really help them, you know. So yeah, congrats, mate. I think it's great. I mean, you're doing crazy numbers considering you're just getting started and you're probably just one or two epiphanies away from like a seven-figure run rate, to be honest. You're not that far off.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out how to do that bit. I've got can't get ahead of myself. I've probably got to make sure the team can do the work and stuff. But yeah,
100%. But like
it's
it
good.
seems like well, one or two of those 500 to 700K engagements would get you there. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
not, and it's only, so yeah, I think you're on an incredible path. Is there anything that you want to hand with? Like, I've probably got like another 5 minutes. Is there, or like, feel free, like if there's something in the next week or two that you want to pick my brains about, like I'm happy to help. But is there anything you'd like to ask or go through?
Maybe this isn't a really well formed idea. But I do have another even like kind of further up the funnel idea that I've been playing with. One of the reasons I was able, at one stage, I was managing 8 clients by myself, right? And the only way I could do this is I had this kind of way I'd set up Claude using MCP tools, and I'd basically built something myself that allowed Claude, the AI tool, to have memory of everything I'm doing, right? So I never had to remember anything, which is why I've got like fireflies and so on every call as well.
Mhm.
But it was like so well automated that I'm like, surely other business founders could use something like this. Maybe this is what you're doing with your AI tools as well. But I was thinking of running like a some kind of education piece or course, or even using it as a lead magnet. I haven't really thought about how to do that, but I'm like, there's going to be hundreds of business owners out there that could use what I have to do kind of more with their time. Um, so yeah, I don't know what I'm asking just yet. Maybe once I have a better formulated idea to run it past you and see what you think. And you've obviously done a really incredible job of scaling an idea and building a community around it and turning it into something. So I feel like that could be an interesting path for me to funnel business into the agency. If that makes sense.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I mean, I think just build the offer template for it. What does the offer template look like? And like just work on, because you sound, are you there still? I think you've frozen, that's all. Yeah, just froze for a sec.
Yeah.
Um, you you're like obviously a really technically competent guy. I wouldn't even worry about the technical feasibility of it. I would just focus on the offer doc. What's the sales mechanism that best articulates what you're trying to do, and then just shove it in front of people's faces when you're like, oh, I think this might be good, and just see what comes of it. You know what I mean? So, like the whole idea for profitable designer was an accidental byproduct of flying to Sydney and Brisbane and trying to pay people to help me deliver work. You know what I mean? It just came serendipitously. Just build the offer doc, and then when somebody you think's a good fit for what you got in your mind, just be like, hey, what do you think of this? And if they come back and go, yes, sick, how do I pay? Then you know there's something there. And then that way you don't have to build anything because your issue is never going to be building. Your the only issue you're going to run into and the mistake you'll make is building something before it's been validated by the market. So just validate the idea, and if you can't sell it through Google Doc, it probably won't have legs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That's kind of how I was thinking about it, putting it out there, seeing what kind of numbers I would get. And that might
Yeah.
and who responds to it. And that might determine what I actually show them and how to get them value as well. So yeah, it makes total
And
sense.
and I'm sure there's a lot of people that book calls with you that are just nowhere near the maturity to actually become a client at a decent level. You kind of like build like it's like a low ticket offer that has nearly no touch points or limited touch points with you. You know what I mean? It's like the best way to think about it is like, okay, well, what is the completely digitized version of my IP look like? And then you just see if people buy it, you know?
Mm. Yeah, okay.
But yeah, if you want to whip together an offer doc in the next couple of weeks and send it through, I'm happy to go through that with you on a call.
Yeah, great. I'll see if I can get around to doing that. Yeah.
Pleasure, mate. Well, yeah, thanks for taking the time, and we'll speak again really soon.
All right. Cheers. See you, Patrick.
Thanks, mate.